So, so I have animals. I have cats. I have dogs. I have birds, what you call chicken. And so when I sit down, or sometimes I just sit and I'll observe. So I'll be observing how the animals be behaving if they are threatened. So this is based on a social experiment where I sit and I do it for myself. Okay? Now, for example, let's say that my chicken ziko hapo nje, for example, yeah? Na kwaje? Let's say, for example, I have my chicken outside. They are eating or whatever. And there's, for example, danger. Ama kitu kama you approaching. So I'll observe how the chickens will be behaving first. Mambo? Nataka mtu anitolee tu paketi moja tu hapa ya chakula. Nini? Chakula. Kuna mtu hapa?
Ndani.
Ule mzee anakuanga hapa ama nini? Wanani anaweza nipea?
Chakula. Babu. Mambo unamuita?
So, this is what happens. Let's say, for example, kuna danger coming. So, of course, uto tushui ama hiyo paka haijuangi. So, the mother has to make a sound. Na ikimake hiyo sound, zinajificha. Whether it's the cats, whether it's the dogs, it doesn't matter. Kila kitu lazima ijifiche. But hiyo sound, like... Ama ningojea mtoke lunch. Sawa. Wacha basi nikalia hapa. Oh, si huyu anatoa. Hi. No, I just wanted to pick one packet of food, but I know they're on lunch, so I was wondering if there was anyone here.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah, let me just see. Okay. Sawa. Cha tukae chini hapa tumalize hii live, even better. Sindio? So, that noise that either the cat will make or the dog or whatever to alert the child that there's danger, that is learned. AKA, kama ni kuku zinakula hapa, kukuje mwewe, by toshuia tutajua ati that sounds danger. But if the mother makes a sound, ukumbuke wametoka kwa mayai, it's in their DNA. When the mother makes that sound like there's danger, how the mother will be feeling, okay, or what you can call how she will be vibrating, her vibration, her frequency, and how she's going to react. Ndio tutajua, that was dangerous, that bird was dangerous. Ukumbuke wewe ukikuja, it will not be the same. So this goes into all shapes and sizes, whether it's cats and dogs, animals, birds, all the way to humans now, okay? Now, let's talk about your mother wound and explain what it is. So this will be the pain. Remember, pain doesn't have to be physical. Otherwise, you can be talking to someone and they tell you, oh, I'm in so much pain. But then, they are not in any physical pain, but it's what they are going through. So, the mother wound will be the pain or the wounding. Remember again, the wounding doesn't have to be physical. Because you can be wounded, but you can't see. Naweza sema, my heart is so wounded, but nikifungua niangalie roho yako. Roho yako iko sawa. It doesn't again have to be physical. Okay? So, it can be the pain. So now we're defining now the mother wound in general. So the mother wound would be the pain, it can be the wounding, the trauma that is carried by who? By the mother. But who is inheriting that pain? The children. So for example, hiyo kuku kama ishaishtuliwa, so that feeling or something will be picked by the children, aka the chicks will from then onwards be behaving a certain way based on the danger. Now, a lot of your women or your mothers, they have never processed what you can call their trauma. So a lot of our mothers, a lot of your mothers have never processed their trauma, aka the pain that they suffered, the wounding that they suffered. Because the environments where they are growing around, there was no supportive cycle. So they become highly critical. Ukiangusha kikombe kwa nyuma unasikia, oh, you're there. So your parents have always been very critical. Ukifika nyumbani, sasa umeona utakuwa unaingia kwa nyumba saa 4, unataka upashike mimba. So they don't even know why they are like that. The reason being, they have never modeled what you can call self-care. Or they have never learned how to meet their own what you call needs. So the way that your mother felt about herself when you were in her womb or when she was growing up, like, for example, how she was engaging in her relationships with the parents, the people, places and things, whatever your mother is, kama ako kwa soko, anapikana na kanjo, all that drama. So how your mother feels about herself, pengine amekuzalia soko, pengine ni huka, whatever she works, maybe ako kwa kinyumba tao, it doesn't matter. Whatever belief she carries, let's say that your mother sells her pussy. So she has this belief that all men are out to use her. Anajua ni kazi, alijipeleka hiyo kazi ndio. But in her mentality, so in her mentality, she has a conditioning, a belief that she's carrying. And that belief, that conditioning that your mother carried, you are going to inherit it, whether you know it or you don't want it. That becomes an influence on you. The reason being, your survival was dependent on your mother. It was your mother who was taking care of you. The first moment you were born, you jumped on her titty. So based on the fact that your survival was dependent on your mother, you picked all those senses. Venye nimekuambia, kuku akiwa na vifaranga wajuangi anything is dangerous until mwewe akuje. And then the way their mother is going to make that sound. Hawajaisikia, wamezoea kusikia mamake akisema kala kala kala. So the way your kuku itapiga your screaming na venye ata react, the children learn that, the frequency that is dangerous, that part is dangerous. So they don't need a language, it's inside you. So when you're growing in your mother's womb, you start internalizing her beliefs. Whatever your mother believes in, men are dogs, you internalize that. So what is going to happen is, let's say your mother doesn't know how to handle her trauma. She has no supportive people around her. Alipata mimba akakuja nyumbani akaambiwa, unaona kwenye umetoa hiyo mimba? Rudi huko. So she has no coping mechanism. And now here you are, a child of the same mother. So what does that mean? So this means that that mother wound will create what you call unbalanced relationship, dysfunctional that is. So you are going to have unbalanced patterns, okay? Body insecurities, what you call your self-worth, being either low or whatever. So in your whole life, you even have a problem with depending on other people, codependency, because you never learned it. And the fact that you are neglecting those parts of yourself because of the how you are raised by your mother, because you picked that from your mother, that becomes the issue. So that whole mother wound creates what you call now fucked up relationships, fucked up patterns in how we grew up, fucked up body insecurities. A lot of you have added the way you cannot even go to the gym. The reason is that you cannot go to the gym. The reason is what you believe about yourself, the beliefs you have about yourself. How are you going to go and train in the gym to look fit while your mother looks like SpongeBob? And you can't help yourself because you learned your coping mechanism from your mother. Remember, basic survival instinct come from the mother. So if the mother is okay with her weight, do you think you are going to lose weight? Do you think you are going to care about how you look if your mother never cared about how she looked? So a lot of people will ask, so what does it look like to have a mother wound? Let's say you're struggling with setting boundaries. That's a mother wound. Your mother allowed your father to come all over you at home. So you developed a mother wound. You have insecurities with your body, how you appear, everything. Why? Your mother never took care of herself at all. So where did you learn from? Your mama has no sense of style, so where would you get your sense of style? All your relationships, you have to co-depend on someone, because when you're growing up, your mama was always depending on other people out there. Your mama was always depending on handouts. Your mother was either depending on other men to come through. So even as a grown woman, you're always waiting for codependency. Even if you were to start your own business and run it, it cannot, because you have inherited those mother wounds where you don't feel like you can start anything by yourself. Raised by parents, mothers who cannot regulate their emotions. They never learned how to self-soothe themselves. So what do you expect from yourself? Your mother has been in a relationship with your father for years. Why? She fears abandonment. So she decided, I'll be going through this trauma, through this abuse, because I cannot be abandoned anymore. When she became pregnant, she was kicked away from home. So she'll take all the abuse that the men are going to put on her, your father included, but she will never leave because she has that fear. She fears she will be abandoned again. So she'd rather stay there and suffer. And throughout that, she's judging herself. There's nothing wrong with self-judgment. It's accountability of self-reflection. But there's something that is called chronic self-judgment, where the whole day all you do is self-criticize yourself. You're always comparing yourself to others. And this life is specifically for the ladies, okay? You're always comparing yourself to others. So now you have decided to change your skin color. Unashindanga pale Nairobi kwenye asemanga, mama nunua sura, nunua matako. You have bleached yourself. The only thing that is black is maybe your ass, because uko tu wanangi. Unajua? So, if you have a fear of displeasing your mother, if you have this tendency where you cannot make any decision, so before you make any decision, you have to go and look into your mother. Talk to your mom first. Like your mother has to be the first. So anything that comes into your life, lazima kwanza uende wa mimi mamako. Mom, nimeambiliwa kazi imefanya. That's a mother wound that you need to heal. Because what you're lacking is that you are lacking trust in yourself. But it's not your fault. Remember, it came from the wound, your mother wound, that you inherited. You are growing up, umetoka shule, umetafuta kazi, you just started working. And now, your mother is already looking at you, umsaidie. Kumbuka yeye ni mtoto. Hata ujaza kwako, ujaza ndoa kwako, jana. But already your mother is looking at you like you are the savior of this family. You're the only one who can solve my problem. So now you have your own problems to deal with and your mother's. So your mother is attempting to live her life through you. So eventually what do? As an adult, you start playing the role of the fixer. Shida yote ya mamako ni wewe. Shida yote ya mamako to rescue ni wewe. Okay? Either you are going to be the fixer or the enabler. Because remember, you may think you are fixing, but you are enabling that thing to continue. Mamako anakupigia, niwaandikirwa wira. Umeandikwa kazi, kwa hivyo every month utakuwa unanitumia 20,000. Huwezi andikwa kazi ya pesa mingi hivyo na mamako akose pesa. So you think you are fixing a problem, but you are enabling it. For example, when you come to the African context, we are the only people who stop working early. Just because uko na watoto unakaa sasa watoto wakusaidia. The European countries wanaona bado mtu wako bado 60 bado wanafanya kazi. You are women here wakifika 50 watoto wakienda high school mamako anakaanga chini. Ndio msaidia wera wa maid ni ale domagira pesa. Sasa kazi ya maid itasaidia mtoto wako. She can't even afford panties. Na sasa hiyo ndio utategemea ukiwa nyumbani. So how will you heal your mother wounds? You know, most of the people who come to my DM, this is where I get most of my content from. When you come to the DM with your complaints, I listen and I realize, wow, hii kitu mazee, it's deep. Okay? How do you heal your mother wounds? First of all, you have to see yourself. Look at your mother. Understand that this is my mother the way she is. Not how I want my mother to be. Remember that. This is my mother, yes. This is who my mother is. Not who I want her to be. Not who my mother, I wish my mother to be like this. No. See your mother as she is first. How she is, not what you wish her to be. Ati mimi naweza taka mamangu akue akidrive kama wamama wengine. Mamako si wale wa mama wengine. See her for who she is. Start practicing boundaries and you hold them. Mom, atiwaje no ginya gutumagire ngiri 20 mweri siwezi kutumia 20,000 every month. Niko na matumizi yangu. When I get money I'll send you, but it's not a must. Boundaries are very important because most of you are suffering because you don't have boundaries. Okay? Now, for you to break away from that autonomous life of just being in your parental mother's wounds, you have to start doing things on yourself. Hii maneno ya kushinda saa zote kwa mamako, saa zote kwa mamako is one of the other problems. You have a life. Start looking for a community of other women your own age, other women who can uplift you, other women who can inspire you. Si saa zote ukipata kachanzi unakimbia kwa mamako has got no solutions for you. Wewe ni mtoto wake. Alikuwa na time yake. She has solutions for her age mate. Your solutions, the people who can uplift you and inspire you are your own age mate. So look for women your own age mate. Start spending that extra time engaging in things that are just for you. Okay? What you need now, you have to realize this is what you need. You don't need your mother's opinion or opinions. Ati saa zote, mom, no, you don't need it. In fact, if you are to go with your mother, you never get to the promised land. Where yakufika, you already don't have an example. So you have to start accepting and acknowledging and honoring the inner child that is hurting. That child that was hurting, that was neglected when your mom chose the wrong things. When your mom wishes, you are wishing your mom could have loved you. She couldn't. She was already in an abusive relationship. So you have to heal that child so that you can start looking at yourself in a different way. Okay? When you accept your mother's limits, that this is who my mother is, not who I'd want her to be, this is who my mother is. Okay? That one is healing in itself. It should not be looked like it's a betrayal. Accepting your mother the way she is, that is not betrayal, that is healing. You're accepting, this is who my mother is, not what I would wish her to be. So this is going to help you heal your mother wound. Because when you heal your mother wound, that is now when you start healing your limiting beliefs that you picked from her without knowing, out of survival. So look for other women where you can connect with other women so that when you meet these other women, you see yourself as an individual, not as a reflection of your mother. You get it? I know it's a little bit deeper, like understanding the mother wound, and especially the fact that we don't have these kind of conversations or places where you can learn these things. So I know it's hard for you. However, no one is going to come and tell you these things. You only have yourself. Okay? You only have yourself to learn these things. You only have yourself to understand that you are not your mother. You are you. And accept her where she is. This is my mom, not what I'd like her to be. Then once you do that, it's going to be easy to heal. So today is Friday, of course, Venus, love and appreciation. And so being Venus, then we can say that I'll want the best for you. And you know like what we say, teamwork makes the dream work. Let me see if there's a question before I go. Let me see if there's a question. If there's no question, even better. We like it when there's no question. Nice, no question. So each one teach one. Teamwork makes the dream work. Do have a beautiful evening. We'll catch up again. Ni sasa. Ciao, ciao.